What's going on? Welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to talk to you about NIO. I want to go over some of the current data points, latest and updates, and everything else you need to know. But first, make sure you guys hit that thumbs up. And with that, let's get right to it. So NIO pre-market is up 0.6%. So kind of just piggybacking off of the broader market's somewhat slow recovery. And there's a couple of things that has come out to really signal that we are at a bottom. I know a lot of people love to throw that around, so I'm going to kind of go over that in a second. But as far as what is really pushing also NIO a little bit higher is their weekly registration numbers. For face value, this does look very bad. So for the week ending April the 6th, there was 2,500, so 700 Onvo, 1,800 NIO. But there was a holiday between April the 4th and the 6th, so you kind of have to give them some leniency for that. So if you factor those 2 days in, it would be roughly around that 3,500 range, I would estimate, somewhere around there. So yeah, I think all in all, they're kind of within their range that they have been. So nothing overly crazy, but you're going to have a lot of bears just focusing on this 2,500 rather trying to figure out exactly why. So it was because of the holidays. So again, it's no harm, no foul, no hate against them. So yeah, let me know your general thoughts on that. Aside from that though, there actually hasn't been all that much in news from NIO. So no speculative expansion or anything like that. So it's just been at the broader market's mercy. And there's been a hell of a lot of geopolitical issues. That's always been one kryptonite type of scenario for NIO. So one thing though that did come out that makes me believe that we are close to a bottom is Trump did, obviously, as I mentioned in my video yesterday, he hit China with a threat saying that he's going to raise their tariffs if they don't drop theirs. China did respond and stated that we're not going to back down. So you kind of have this impasse. So it's kind of a unique circumstance, which is in theory very, very negative. Two biggest forces in the world are starting to go tit for tat with tariffs. So ultimately, market doesn't seem to care all that much. I was under the assumption when I saw that China kind of stated that they're not going to do anything and that they're not going to back down. I would have assumed that the futures were going to be red, but market seems to be loving the optimism coming from BlackRock and whatever else. So like I said, I know a lot of people like to throw that this is the bottom around very frequently, but if you're having the market ignore very big negative news, then essentially, yeah, you see the market obviously trying to justify and see more upside rather than down, because even looking at the futures, Dow is up 2.7, S&P 2.28, NASDAQ 2.3. So yeah, definitely a very unique, interesting scenario all in all. But this morning, you're not seeing shorts do anything, so usually that does mean that they're going to let NIO freely run up. So I'll go over the technicals and stuff in a second, but 15.05% of the free floats being shorted, works out to be 218.12 million shares overall are being shorted. So shorts definitely have really targeted NIO, which is kind of odd. There's a lot of other EVs out there that aren't really hitting their marks and their targets, but they choose to really hit NIO, making it a crazy discount. So as I've stated, if you believe in NIO, I get it. It's very frustrating to see it go down despite the good improvements that has come out over the last, like, let's say 6 months. I don't know, a lot of manipulation overall, but based on the options, you are seeing a consensus for it to be above that 350 mark for today, and then the bears are anticipating for it to be sub 250. A lot of that is stemming from this right here. So the Elliott Wave Technicals, it is projecting for NIO to hit between that 250 and 276. So I know that's rather unfortunate, but as I have mentioned, just NIO's technicals are very bad. It's kind of like a falling knife. Again, today might be a little bit more of a temporary bottoming in the broader market and for NIO, but for face value, this type of scenario is also playing out, or did play out, in October. So this is why there's a little bit more downside anticipated based on at least this right here. A couple of key points to watch for though today, with it at 336. It is trading between this S1 and this S2, so $3.10 is going to be that next strong support, which would be a new 52-week low. A new one was created yesterday at $3.18, but $3.56 and followed by $4.29 will be the next strong targets / resistance point. So all in all, I think NIO is a very interesting stock. I have a love-hate relationship with it, so I obviously have stock in it and I want it to go up, but it just does whatever the hell it wants and it gets manipulated. So as it does move towards profitability, that's where the stock price will more align a little bit with what happens operationally. But until that happens, you're going to have it move like crazy. Sometimes it just doesn't make sense. So yeah, all in all, pretty interesting day ahead of us. We'll see whether the market does feel it is a bottom, or maybe it's just a bottom for American stocks. So let me know your general thoughts. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. I always greatly appreciate that. And what's your viewpoint on the weekly registration numbers? I know a lot of people don't like it, but do you think it's at least moving in the right direction? Do you think that it needs to double? Like, what's your kind of general thoughts on all of that? So don't forget to hit that thumbs up. And then one final thing, pop over to my Patreon and give buy signals on stocks, options, and crypto. Many of them have been absolutely on point and bangers. Definitely worthwhile to pop over there and take a look. With all that, appreciate all of you watching.